Hi, I'm Jen Stacy. Welcome to our new lifestyle show that showcases everything there is to love about this slice of paradise. Whether you come here to visit, or a snowbird, or if you're lucky enough like me to live here full time, you know that Florida is home to some beautiful beaches and boating destinations, some incredible fishing and golf courses, unique attractions, and some of the best dining in the world. We'll explore them and take you on a vacation each time you watch. This is living the Florida life. This week, we'll introduce you to a world-renowned artist whose colorful work is featured everywhere from presidential libraries to museums in London and Paris. Her work is so popular that her wearable art is now featured in Florida department stores. We'll sip on the craft beer craze that's taking over the Sunshine State and find out their recipe for success. We'll swing over to the golf course and visit the golf doctor. He'll give us his prescription to better our golf game. Finally, we'll take a stroll back in time and visit one of the most iconic landmarks here in the Sunshine State, the homes of Thomas Edison and Henry Ford. But first, let's head out into the Gulf and reel in a new adventure.
This is my office. Southwest Florida, it's a beautiful, amazing place. Year-round weather. You know, we're in the middle of winter and it's 80 degrees offshore today, so you kind of can't beat that.
And you can't beat a day fishing on the Gulf of Mexico with pure Florida. It's pure joy.
We like to tell you we have something for everyone on the water. You know, we're a sightseeing and entertainment business, fishing business out of Tin City in downtown Naples. Pride ourselves on the customer service, making sure that people have a good experience.
Captain Harry Julian is from New Zealand and traveled around the world for a career in the film production business before settling down in Naples with his wife and children to operate Pure Florida. Today, we're out on the Kudu, the queen of their vast charter fleet. So tell us about the boat, Harry. What boat are we on?
So we're on the Kudu, which is, you know, it's not just because I own it. I do believe it's one of the nicest charter fishing boats in Southwest Florida. It's got a full tuna tower. It's a safe boat. It rides well, and yeah, we're proud of her. She's the pride of the fleet for sure.
Kudu is named after the swift-moving African deer. A fitting name for this classic, which quickly got us 32 miles off Naples shore. How many crew do you normally run with?
So we always have a captain and a mate, even though we've got 6 passengers. Your boat's only as good as your captain, and you know, like I said earlier, the guys that we have here have been doing it their entire lives. They live it, they breathe it, and most of them on their days off, they're going out on their own boats or taking out one of the company boats to go and continue their trade and improve their skill set.
What's the best part about fishing here in Southwest Florida?
You know, the quality and the quantity of fish.
Yeah.
You know, we like to say we go catching, not fishing for the most part. Oh, there we go.
Oh, speaking of.
You know, grouper and snapper is your main staple, which is what most people like to eat, which is nice. And they're in abundance. The fishery population is being well managed by the fisheries resource people, and you know, it's just a good time. You know, it's a rare day where you go out and you're not catching a lot of fish.
We're fishing the newly created artificial reefs off Collier County, a massive project with a lasting impact on Southwest Florida's future.
Right after BP, there was a fund set up to do things that can help preserve the environment, generate probably one of the most diverse and far-reaching reef networks, definitely in Florida and, you know, even in the United States. There's a total of 36 different reef locations. Each one's about 500 ton of material, which is recycled material that would have ended up in landfills or elsewhere. And really it just provides a lot more habitat and some great locations for people who are maybe aren't as sophisticated at fishing to go out and easily find something to sit on top of and hook up to and hopefully catch some fish at. I guess one of the greatest parts about it that the group was proud of is, you know, there's no taxpayer money involved. You know, there's no government money involved other than some time by local officials. So yeah, it's neat, you know. It really provides some great opportunities for the people that are visiting and the people that live here to go out and fish and catch the big one.
On a day out fishing like this, okay, we just saw a sea turtle, we've caught a variety of fish. What can you expect if you're not familiar with fishing Southwest Florida waters?
You know, a little bit of everything. We've seen everything out here from whale sharks to whales to turtles to many different varieties of fish. Oh,
Got something.
we got something here. Yeah, so, you know, the fisheries have been really well managed out here. You know, everything's got to fit into a certain size limit so that they can reproduce and continue to get more and more. Ooh.
You got a nice one.
What is that?
You got a nice
red.
one.
It's like a red grouper. There you go. You know, this one's a bit too small to keep. Typically, you're looking 20 inches to keep them. You know, we're a little closer inshore, but a little later we'll be offshore and hopefully we'll hook into the big one.
Pretty soon, we're all catching fish. A lot of them. Some more unique than others. Oh, cool. Looking like a shark.
Yeah, they suck onto the side of the shark.
Oh, no way.
That's what they're doing.
So where do you think this one came from? Goliath grouper, maybe?
Goliath grouper.
Really?
Down below. Nice.
Bye, buddy. Good luck.
It's a rare day that we don't come back with something in the fish box.
We reel in pogie, red and lane snapper, and grouper.
What do you got, Jen? Come on, it's a big one. Get him up. Whoa, what is that?
What is that?
Leave that one alone.
It's a stonefish, right?
Yeah.
That thing right there will put a hole in you and it'll hurt drastically.
Well, this,
He's spitting the bait.
He spit it out.
He doesn't like that too much.
This is why it's good to go fishing with pure Florida so that I don't have to get it off the line.
Again, it's the entertainment value, the quality of service to the customers. We handle all the hooks, bait, all the lines, you know, handle all the fish. You know, it's a full service experience. So when you come out with us, even if you've never fished before, we're going to make sure that we get you on the fish. You're going to catch the fish, and there's going to be no apprehension about the whole process.
He bites onto you. It really hurts. Watch this. Sorry, Aaron.
Makes it awesome, even if you're a novice like me.
Yes,
you get to do all the fun and do the work.
And you've been catching.
I have been,
Yeah,
no
not
doubt.
fishing, catching,
This
right?
has been a good day,
Yeah,
no doubt.
for sure.
When we reluctantly head back in, we have a full fish box, a lot of fish tails, and we've caught a new appreciation for Southwest Florida fishing. Well, this is no doubt living the Florida life.
Oh, yeah.
If you would like to see some more incredible underwater footage or learn more about the artificial reefs, check out the Emmy Award-winning documentary called Paradise Reef, made by filmmaker John Skula. Up next, we'll head to a colorful Florida town filled with colorful people and see why presidents, billionaires, and royalty are taking notice.
Support provided by Pure Florida. Information, reservations, purefl.com.
Pinchers was built around teamwork and family. The passion that we have of serving fresh seafood at Pinchers is unbelievable. The red grouper, the black grouper, the triple tail. Only the good Lord knows what he's going to put in the traps or on a hook. Stone crab is so sweet. It is God's greatest invention in the world, the stone crab. The large and the jumbo are for the egos who like to spend a lot of money. We now have pinchers from Tampa to Key West, including Marco Island. From the water to the table, you can't fake fresh.
When you walk the streets of Matlacha, you know you are in a uniquely Florida town. This seaside village is teeming with restaurants, art galleries, and some pretty colorful people, including world-renowned artist Leoma Lovegrove. Who better to learn more about the woman behind crazy glasses like these than my good friend Tony Phelan. Tony is best known as the founder of Pinchers Restaurants. He's a skilled restaurateur and also a very talented artist himself. In every episode of Living the Florida Life, we'll hit the road and go traveling with Tony.
Fish aren't the only things Leoma Lovegrove reels in at her Matlacha, Florida gallery.
Yay! A paintbrush!
Also hooked tourists, collectors, and fellow artists from around the world who are drawn to this unique woman with incredible talent, me included.
Welcome to the gallery.
How did you fall in love with Matlacha?
We came to Matlacha, my husband and I, by accident. We were on our way to Boca Grande, thinking we'd take the ferry, you know, from Bukilia over, but when there was no ferry, we just spent the day here. So here we are. Now we have 3 properties here.
You are the pearl of Matt Lachey.
I always say I wear my art on my sleeve instead of your art, but it's kind of the same thing. So, and I just came up with that a few weeks ago. I'm like, yeah, I do wear my heart on my sleeve, you know, because it's everywhere.
Lovegrove also has some big fans. Her work is in the White House collection and in 2 presidential libraries, just to name a few distinctions.
I had the honor of being at the White House for an artist reception, so and entertained Jimmy Carter right here in my garden and his family of 65, and so I've kind of been around. Well, this is this kind of the entry room. Now, in Matt Lachey, since it's a tiny shack, this is only like, I think, 1,200 square feet or less, maybe 1,000 square feet. But we've tried to make use of every little space. These are originals that I did inspired by Matt Lachey.
Her work caught the eye of the Bell's department store and can be found on everything from clothing to jewelry to platters and houseware.
When Bell's found me, it was really a great fit because I love to paint nature, love to paint Florida. But what Bell's did for me as an artist is they made me more mainstream. Working with the Bell's family has been a really blessing to my husband and I and my family.
Lovegrove was also inspired by Hurricane Irma as the storm barreled toward the coast, threatening the community she loved so much.
I paint whenever there's a crisis or event once I'm settled in. So this is like Florida right here, and then here it is coming to Florida, you know. I did a series of 12. We sold the originals to our Congressman, Francis Rooney, and then we, in turn, donated the money to the Red Cross.
So what's your future?
Well, you know, I don't think an artist would ever retire, you know, so I've never even thought of that or even considered it. I like to paint all kinds of things. You know what a definition of an artist is?
Yeah, you're going to teach me something.
One who uses their environment in which to create. Okay. Isn't that so true of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm always creating, and it doesn't matter if I have a paintbrush in my hand or if I'm braiding a palm frond. As long as I'm creating, I'm happy. Well, I have a toast. Here's to the tall ships and to the small ships and to all the ships at sea. But the best ships are friendships. So here's to you and here's to me.
Awesome.
Having this career has been a win-win for me, my husband, and my friends. You know, it's been giving on both ends. You know, the public gives to me and I give back, and it's a win-win. Win-win for art.
Up next, we'll enjoy some Florida flavor and quench our thirst with some of the best craft beer in the country. And we'll heal our golf game with the Golf Doctor.
It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down. It's about to get crazy. It's gonna be loud. This is our house. We do what we wanna. We'll blow the roof up. Everybody's coming. It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down.
Pinchers was built around teamwork and family. The passion that we have of serving fresh seafood at Pinchers is unbelievable. The red grouper, the black grouper, the triple tail. Only the good Lord knows what he's going to put in the traps or on a hook. Stone crab is so sweet. It is God's greatest invention in the world, the stone crab. The large and the jumbo are for the egos who like to spend a lot of money. We now have Pinchers from Tampa to Key West, including Marco Island. From the water to the table, you can't fake fresh.
One of the best things about living the Florida life? Sitting back and enjoying a nice cold drink by the beach at a locally owned restaurant, one like Pinchers. I'm enjoying one of their very own craft beers right now. This is FLA IPA. And it's delicious. Here in Florida, we enjoy a lot of variety thanks to the growing craft beer craze. So what's the recipe for success? Let's find out.
Locally, it's just exploding, and it's exploded fast.
Florida is known for relaxation and indulgence, so it's somewhat of a surprise that until a few years ago, the Sunshine State was routinely written off as an afterthought by craft beer geeks. Only 57 breweries were reported in 2012, but that has changed.
I think it's catching up a little bit to the rest of the country, but people, I think, just naturally want to see something local.
There are now well over 200 craft breweries pouring flavorful beers in Florida. including Bonehook Brewing Company in Naples and Fort Myers Brewing Company in Lee County.
Fort Myers Brewing is, we were the first microbrewery in Lee County, and Rob and I decided to build a place where we thought the community could come together and enjoy some craft beer and just have some fun, and it's exploded ever since.
In some ways, we are a little bit behind the curve for the market for the rest of the nation. In some ways, we're doing a lot of interesting things. We have beers called Florida Ice, you know, these interested in tropical fruits added to our sour beers that not a lot of people, say in the Midwest, are doing, or on the West Coast are doing. I mean, they can and they might, but not as much as I see just everywhere here in Florida.
Tourists are flocking to experience the Florida flavor and the camaraderie.
We have a lot of snowbirds, as we know, and they come from places where they're used to craft beer. And two, I think people really were craving flavor and also craving community. We've given people a place where they can just come and hang out.
All right, Josh, I'm bellying up to the bar now. I would love to try some of your most popular beers, and you have a lot of beer on tap here. How many are those?
Yeah, there's 20.
20. Okay, is that typical? Is that normally what you carry?
Normally all 20.
Wow. Okay. Where do I start?
So I typically ask you, the new customer, what do you typically like to drink? Is it light beer? Is it IPAs?
I like to try different things, but I would say a lighter beer. I do like the IPAs.
I'd start you off with my best-selling, my flagship IPA, which is Dirty Dave's IPA.
Bonehook offers a huge variety and went through 1,300 barrels in just their first year of business.
I enjoy people coming in, even people that I know have been regulars here. I enjoy them coming in, getting flights of all the sampler sets of all the new stuff that we might have come out with.
Okay, Jen, so we are behind the bar, not a bad place to be, and my gosh, you have a lot of variety on tap. What should I try out first?
Well, our Gateway Gold is what we start. Generally, that's the first beer we offer to people. We have a Blood Orange Goza on tap right now, which it's got a Florida element to it. It's blood orange, and it's citrusy and a little sour, and something that's refreshing all day long.
There's something unique on tap for everyone at Florida craft breweries. From Ladies' Night at Bonehook, a cherry sour.
The color usually gets people interested because they'll see a pink beer down the bar
Like, I'll have what she's having.
I want that.
To the chocolate peanut butter porter at Fort Myers Brewery. You can taste both. It's almost like a Reese's cup. It's really good. Yes. This is dangerously good.
What I like to see is them, eyes closed, shaking their head because it's so good.
I think they walk away with knowing that we provide an excellent and consistent product.
All right, well, I can see why this is a lot of people's favorite places to be. So here's to living the Florida life. Yes. Cheers. Florida is home to some of the best golfing in the world, but that can be intimidating for novices like me. The prescription? Get some help from the golf doctor. It's another gorgeous day here in Southwest Florida. You can't beat it. And part of living the Florida life is golfing. As you know, I've been a boater my entire life. I've lived down in Southwest Florida for a long time, but I need some lessons from a pro. You've been doing this for 35 years.
Yeah, I mean, this is, as a golf doctor, I've been doing it 35 years, 50th year as a golf pro.
Wow.
So golf's simple. Everybody says, oh, it's hard, keep your head down, left arm straight, eye on the ball. Don't think of any of that. Let's talk about beginning golfers, and that's what's important. First thing is, you want to get close to the object you're going to hit, all right? So we're going to do a little putt. Now, we're not on a green here, and the reason we're not on a green is because the average golfer might not have access to a golf course. They're a beginner, right? So they can go on their lawn, their carpet, or whatever, and now, when beginners start, they look at their golf clubs and they say, wow, this is confusing. There's so many.
Overwhelming, yeah.
We're going to just take one out and a putter. And most people are familiar with that because of mini golf,
sure,
right?
Of course.
Okay, so we're going to go with this little object here. And the first thing is, all you have to do is aim the club at the object. So there's a little line sometimes on the back of the club for people to use, or you can look at the top of the line and make it perpendicular. The key point here is just get over the ball, keep your legs quiet, your eyes on the back of the ball, and now just move your shoulders and arms as a team and just try to roll the ball. So the object, I'll try one here. Just roll it firm enough to hit the little case. Now give that a shot.
Perfect.
A second, okay?
All right. Does your grip matter?
Yes, it does,
okay.
but I'm gonna let you go with your natural grip. I don't want to overdo anything, right?
All right.
Good. Okay, now we're going to do one more, but I'm going to help you with this one. So get all set. All right. And now point your index fingers down the club a little better. You got it. Now then, yes, spread your feet a little more. All right. Now, you ready? Don't watch the ball. Listen for it to hit the object. Just stroke it through. Okay, now you didn't hear it, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
So clearly I missed it.
Right. Now, one more time. Listen for it. Don't watch, listen. Boom, you heard it.
I got it.
So steady head, fingers down the club, eyes over the ball. It's not that hard.
All right. Hey, this is living the Florida life.
You got it. Better golf with the golf doctor.
Up next, we'll take a step back in time and visit the home of one of Florida's most famous residents. How the Sunshine State helped him change the world.
This used to be a yacht club in the area. It's an open-air restaurant, as you can see. Edison Ford is right next to us. 250,000 people that go to Edison Ford who have the opportunity to come over here and have lunch. The weather's perfect for being an outdoor restaurant. And so God's greatest dining room is Southwest Florida, and come visit. From the boat to the table, you can't fake fresh.
Fort Myers is known as the city of palms, and when you drive into town, you can't miss all of these majestic palms lining McGregor Boulevard. They were planted by the city's most famous resident, Thomas Edison. He loved living the Florida life, and he came here for inspiration.
We are at the Edison Ford Winter Estates, which is one of the top 10 most visited historic sites in the nation. It is the treasure, the crown jewel of Fort Myers.
The world-renowned Edison Ford Estates are nestled on 20 lush acres along the Caloosahatchee River in southwest Florida. 250,000 people flock here each year to tour Thomas Edison and Henry Ford's winter homes, their research laboratory, and a 15,000 square foot museum teeming with examples of the famous inventor's vast contributions to the world. The modern hustle and bustle of visitors, a far cry from when Edison first visited Fort Myers.
When Thomas Edison first came in 1885, I think there were 350 people and about 50 houses. He was looking for a filament for his light bulb. He was working on the incandescent light bulb at the time, and he saw that bamboo was growing here. Because of the subtropic climate, he knew that he could do plant research here.
Edison built his home on 13.5 acres he purchased for $2,750. In 1886, the inventor and his new bride, Mina, traveled here by train and boat from New Jersey. Mina knew her new husband was different from most men.
Thomas Edison was already on his way to be a worldwide famous inventor. He was probably working on his honeymoon because I think he worked day and night and day, 365 a year.
But there was some time for fun, too, for the Edison family. Starting in 1901, they spent 29 of the next 31 winters in southwest Florida.
All the things that we love to do today, they did here.
Visitors can take a step back in time and walk on the Edison's wraparound porches, view their dining room, their guest house, entertaining areas, family pictures and collections. Lisa, this is a part of the Edison Ford Estates that not everybody gets to see.
Correct. This is part of the kitchen. The kitchen is such an interesting room. Many of the things in these rooms are original to the Edison time. These are original artifacts. These belong to the Edison. It's great to go on a behind-the-scenes tour to see all these different artifacts and see how they were used.
It's really an amazing step back into time to think that this is where he ate, this is where he entertained his friends and family. It's truly remarkable. Some of Edison's closest friends their neighbors, Henry Ford and his family.
We are inside the Ford house. It's a craftsman-style home. They would come down 2 weeks a year. That's it, 2 weeks a year. And it was typically around February for Edison's birthday. He was enamored by Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison mentored him, and so they took the opportunity to spend that time here. Sometimes we'd have a president, sometimes we'd have another famous inventor, but it was more like a compound. During that 2 weeks, they worked, they played, and they just enjoyed being in the fun and sun.
One of the most memorable sights on the beautiful tropical property, the largest banyan tree in the continental United States.
The banyan tree that is planted outside of Edison's Botanic Research Lab was planted in the 1920s by Edison himself. It was about 4 feet high when it started, and now it's almost an acre wide.
The Edison and Ford families enjoyed nature and exploring Southwest Florida together, often riding around in style.
This is a original Ford 1916 Model T, and it represents the friendship between Thomas Edison and Henry Ford. Henry Ford gave this car to Thomas Edison as a gift for his birthday, and each year he wanted to give him a new one, but Thomas Edison, in a typical Thomas Edison style, said, "No, I'll just keep this one and you can just upgrade it."
The families also enjoyed music, thanks to one of Edison's most famous inventions.
The phonograph was so significant to Thomas Edison's career. It really put him on the map. It was his favorite invention. He called it his baby, and it really gave him a kickstart into credibility into the world of invention.
Edison's last major research project involved the quest for natural rubber. Much of the work performed in his Fort Myers lab, built in 1927 with the help of Ford and Harvey Firestone. Edison, Ford, and Firestone collected more than 17,000 plants from all over the world, many still growing on the grounds today, and they performed countless experiments, finally settling on goldenrod as a rubber source. There are also great things to do at the estates.
We're one of only 9 museums throughout the country to have a Spark Lab. It's a great interactive exhibit for families and children to come and do a series of different inventions, use their mind, create. We are creating a whole next generation of innovators and inventors for the future.
And as we take steps toward the future, we can all enjoy a stroll back in time.
I think it's important to see our history and see how we came to where we are today. And I'm just hoping that people learn here how to innovate, how to be inspired, and how to be proud of our American history.
We hope you enjoyed living the Florida life. If you have an idea for our show, or you're a local attraction, destination, or restaurant and you'd like to be featured, let us know at info@livingthefloridalife.com. And make sure you check us out on Facebook. I'm Jen Stacy. I hope you join us next time for more adventures in paradise.